what's up, tube? This is not about Gen 9 motor height. This is about Gen 9, what is it, charging, mag priming. Let's see, how do I save this? All Alright, so tonight I'm going to install Magprime on this Gen 9 gearbox, and just let me set up. I'll give some people some time to get in as well. Hey! What's up, Scott? Exciting. Timing might have been better. There is never good timing. There is never good timing. That's how it is. It is how it is. What is the Gen 9? The Gen 9 is it's a Gen 9 that I'm putting together for someone. It's pretty much done. I just need to wire up the mag prime switch, and so I'm just going to hey John, what's up? Just gonna put a mag priming switch in. And I'm just gonna grab one. What have I got? Somewhere here. I got one on a. This is off a this is off a Scar. This wiring, but I'm just gonna grab this switch off of that because I don't have another switch at the moment. But you know, we do what we do. So this is the, if you guys aren't aware of this already, this is a like a 6x6x9 micro switch, and it just basically lives in there. It's like got the little cutout and everything in the gearbox, just all there, ready to receive it in there. So I'm just going to install that, and yeah, I just thought I'd do it live because why not? Alright, I'm just going to desolder it from this current wires that's on it. I don't want those ones anymore. No, I can just get rid of that. I can just get rid of that wires altogether. Is this cool? Kind of unnecessary though, like. Alright, so that's going to live in there like that. The other thing I'm going to need to do is put a diode on this mag terminal. If you can't see, it's this one. So many diodes. So much stuff. Alright. So a lot of people ask me what diodes I use. They're just 1 amp diodes. Just pretty standard. Little 1 amp diode. Queensland's copping a Cyclone. I've ever used 8mm bearings in a Gen 8 box. I don't think so. I don't think I have. So I'm just going to desolder this mag terminal. If you're ever soldering, for what it's worth, sometimes you got to give a little to take a little. So tin your soldering iron tip and keep it clean, not like my dirty old soldering iron here. Need a mainspring database. Mainspring database. I don't really understand what you mean. I think the problem is that much discrepancy between between all the different springs that even ordering the same spring twice, you could potentially get 2 different springs, and it just yeah. So Scott, I take it that you're banned from playing altogether, are you? Do I still say they're going to ban the whole Gelsoft thing? No. Well, yes, I think they're going to try. They're definitely going to try. I mean, they're going to make it hard for us. That's what they do, right? That's their job. Make it hard for us. The horse has bolted though. Like, look, I don't know. Who knows? I don't like to talk about legal stuff because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all that sort of stuff. I'll just go with it. If they ban it, then they ban it and I'll have to stop. And that is unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Alright, cool. That was me dropping the spring, mag spring. So I mean, yeah, so it was where was I dropped the spring. Yeah, I reckon if they do change the rules and make them illegal, there will have to be some sort of cooling off period, because there's going to be. Look, who knows? We can't predict the future. Yeah, I heard you can't have zombie knives in New South Wales. You can have a knife that doesn't say zombie on it, but if it says zombie on it, then that's illegal. I heard that. That was pretty funny. I thought that was funny. It's one of those things. Look, again, like I said, I don't like to speculate on legal mumbo jumbo. As it stands in the ACT, we are still playing, so it's not illegal yet. We still play in legal, sanctioned, authorised events and whatnot, so I don't know, we'll continue on until they tell us we can't. Alright, back to the real deal. What I'm doing here is I've put the diode on this front terminal with the band towards the trigger switch, and I'm going to run this red wire from the mag terminal down along the same path down here, and then just pop it out this hole in the bottom here. And solder that on to the mag terminal, just where we soldered on the diode. You'll see it just there. What's up, Michael? Alright, now what's going to happen here is this is going to go, this wire is going to come up over the top of this and then go to this switch, and then it's going to come back in to the negative wire at the back there. So this is going to have to go on, and just move these little tabs so I can get the case on. As always, when you're putting the case on, just got to make sure that nothing's getting pinched. Everything's in the right spot. Should all click in relatively easily, and watch your reverse, anti-reverse latch, which always pops in there. I've heard of people using a magnet to retain it. Never done that myself personally. Always let it sort of sit there. Just poke it in. Do any sort of adjustment on the gears that's required, if it's required, to get it to pop back in. And always remember this safety catch in the bottom of the Gen 9, always wants to poke down there. Alright, once everything's popped back together, there we go, it should all just click in. And your little micro switch should be there on the top. You can pop some screws in to hold it in place. I'm still actually surprised that people watch this. Like, honestly, I am very surprised. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me. I'm truly amazed by the amount of support that I get from all you guys. Alright. Cool. I'm still not I'm not sure about these nozzles. Does anyone know if the V2 gearbox or the Gen 9 gearbox is better? Gen 9. Gen 9. The Wells gearbox is it's a little bit weak. There's lack of options. Like with Gen 9, there's a lot of different options, a lot of aftermarket parts. Gen 8 in particular is there's so many aftermarket parts for Gen 8, and the Gen 9 is basically just a Gen 8 with a sort of Type 2-ish bottom motor section here. Personally, I prefer the Gen 8 over all of it. I mean, Gen 9's nice and everything, and I really like the Gen 9 receiver, but the gearbox I prefer Gen 8. I'll take Gen 8 any day of the week. here. See this? Alright, so that's where we're going to run the wire. Now this wire doesn't have to be thick wire because it's not carrying a lot of current, so it can be pretty thin. If anything, this wire I've got's probably overkill. So you can use a nice thin wire for this. It'll make it easier for you. Try and do this in front of the camera for you. The wire doesn't want to. So basically what I've done there, just in case you missed it, because I was off camera, I've got this wire here on this terminal. I'll get the PIP out of the way, and I'll show you here. Just soldering that wire to that terminal. Boom, like that. You could insulate it. I don't think it's necessary because it's not really potentially touching anything unless your receiver was metal, which in our case it's not. If it was, then you'd probably have a problem here. But yeah, and then I will hot glue these wires down into position here so they don't get in your way when you're putting it in the receiver. And then next I'll just run another wire from that terminal down to the negative wire in the back here. Probably heat up the glue gun while I'm at it. Alright, so what else is going on out there? My nozzle smacks my T-piece hard, split the rubber and crack the T-piece. That's an interesting issue you've got there. I've never had that issue. Maybe your return spring's a bit too hectic. Maybe. Like I said, I've never had that exact issue before, so Alright, now I'm going to do this one. I like to do this one on a 90-degree angle, so it just goes straight back. It's probably a little bit too much solder on this switch from the previous. It's like a heap of solder there. Let me just get rid of it just quickly. go. We'll run that one down to the negative wire here at the back. There's a couple of ways you can go about this. I like to just split the wire sort of at the back here, and then I can just solder onto it, and then I just insulate it again with a bit of hot glue. I need to put Gen 8 gearbox in SCAR. The Gen 2 or the V2. The V2 SCAR came standard with a Gen 8 in it, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know that much in terms of the physical characteristics of the housing changed much, so I think you should be able to put a Gen 8 into a Gen 1 SCAR. I've put Gen 8s into pretty much everything that they're not supposed to go into, so yeah, I recommend it. The Gen 8 is like, it's a great gearbox. Issue tinning this. I think it's got a little bit of burnt plastic from the insulation hanging around on the wire. Get the flux in there and burn it away. Sorry, is this off camera? I'm doing this. I am probably not very close on the camera, am I? Alright, let's flip this around here. There you go. Can't really do it with the soldering iron facing the camera because that's like, I can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, so that should be good over there. I'm going to put Dean's connectors onto this box because everyone loves Dean's connectors. Right? Is that right? Everyone loves Dean's connectors? Pretty sure they do. Alright, my hot glue gun cord doesn't quite reach So I'm just going to have to go over here. Why does everything want to update while I'm trying to do something? Alright. Yeah, now you just got to change all your... That's right. That's the beauty of it. You get to change all your battery connectors. Although you know what the... Actually, no, it doesn't really matter because you can't really... I was going to say you could just buy batteries that have already got Dean's connectors, but you can't because they'll come with XT60s these days. Because XT60 is the new hype. I've seen people change these to XT30s. You know what I'm going to do one day, when I get the time? I'm going to actually get an ammeter onto one of these blasters, measure how much current draw it actually has. Then I'm going to determine whether or not the expensive connectors are worthwhile. Because everyone's like, I mean, I hear people saying things like XT60s are better than Dean's, or XT30s are better than Dean's, or whatever and stuff. And I'm like, well, no, not really, because I mean, a Dean's is rated to 60 amps, and an XT30 is rated to 30 amps. So if you're judging better based off of the current handling ability, then they're not. And if you only need to, you know, if you only need 30 amp capability, then why are you doing anything else really? Why bother with, I don't know, it's one of these things. People like what they like because they like it, so there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Some people are just like, yeah, XT60s are the shit. Some people like Dean's are the shit, and some people like Mini Tamiya are, well, no one says that about Mini Tamiya. But you know, there's like, they got their place. The cool thing about Mini Tamiya, if you do convert your blasters to Mini Tamiya, you can use all the standard airsoft plugs. So you can just buy the batteries with the Mini Tamiya plugs already on it, which is awesome because it makes life a lot easier not having to re-terminate all your batteries. I usually re-terminate all my batteries anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. Some people don't really dig that. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. Right. What's up, Jamie? Dean's, or I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? You don't know what I mean? Do you want me to? Let's do some connectors, hey? I just have a massive box of Dean's connectors somewhere. I use Dean's connectors on all my skateboards, so yeah, I had lots of them. this is, I'll start with this one. This is a standard plug for the gel blaster, and I think it's called a JST SM or something. Don't quote me on that one. I don't know the exact name of it, but it's I don't know, pretty standard sort of connector. The problem is they've got these tiny little pins in there, and once you start passing like massive amounts of current, they're not sufficient. This is a Mini Tamiya, which is pretty much standard on, I think, all Airsoft batteries. I think. Anyway, but again, it's the connectors, if you can see that, they're better than this in terms of current capacity. I could look up on a data sheet exactly how much current these things are good for, but I don't know off the top of my head. This is a Dean's, and the beauty of a Dean's connector is that if you look, this is the other end of it. It's really thick pieces of I think they're gold plated copper, and so it's just basically jamming two fat pieces of copper onto two other fat pieces of copper. So copper, being the second best conductor in the world, is pretty good. And this is an XT60, which again has, you can see it's got much thicker contacts inside there. I believe they call it an XT60 because it's capable of 60 amps. I could be incorrect on that one, but I think it is capable of 60 amps. And an XT30 is basically this exact plug in a smaller configuration, so maybe this size, but the same shape as this, and it can handle 30 amps. That's why it's called an XT30, I guess. I like the Dean's because form factor is smaller than the XT60, so that's good for squeezing into small buffer tubes, and it handles, the Dean's handles up to 60 amps as well, so I mean, it's already got more current handling capability than the XT30, and it's probably about the same size as XT30, so I mean, yeah, I think Dean's are the go. Personally, that's my opinion, but some people don't like people don't like Dean's because they're kind of hard to solder. They're where you solder the wires onto the back. If you don't know how to solder good, you might mess it up. But I don't have much of a problem with that. Yeah, seems that easier to solder. Yeah, I think they're easy. Speaking to a couple of blokes, hobby shops, I reckon it's easier to use Dean's than what it is to use Mini Tamiya. Well, it's certainly easier to terminate a Dean's than it is to terminate a Mini Tamiya. Like, to de-pin this connector, you need a special tool. You need a special de-pinning tool that slides down in there. It's a pain, and like, these pins are actually like you need a proprietary crimping device to actually crimp them on properly. And the same can be said for these. Yeah, if I had to choose, I'd choose the Dean's any day of the week. Yeah, nice. I haven't put an ammeter onto a gel blaster, so I don't actually know what the current the gel blaster is pulling. I doubt very much it'd be 10 amps, but you know, I'll test it. Hey, I've actually built that Wells that I built. Dude, that was pulling some current. That was pulling some mad current. But again, I never put an ammeter on it to find out. So, I don't know. So I don't know what the maximum current of a gel blaster actually is. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if obviously if you're pulling 60 amps, and you got to go Deans, but like I don't think they are. So yeah. Robert, Conta Gelball mods about an automate on the 4th, and it's now the 19th, and no tracking information or shipping. On Facebook, they left me on scene. My feelings hurt. Yeah, I've never had any issues with Gelball mod, but I don't know, like it's hit and miss. They've always been good to me. So I don't know, what can I say? I hear some people saying that they hey, I have soldered JST, John. I have done that plenty of times. Yeah, and also you've seen a blaster spike at 60 amps, but like spiking and constant are two different things. I mean, these things will do constant 60 amps, and like these things will take a decent spike. Yeah, anyway. Like I said, I use Deans on my on my skateboards. And those things, like, those things are a constant, like a 60 amp constant pull if you given it the beans. I think they potentially peak up to 90 amps even. I don't know. I'm pretty much done here for today. Scott, who's in here, is having a bit of law trouble, and he wants to spruik his GoFundMe. So chuck it in there, Scott. Chuck it in. Other than that, I am pretty much done here. We got the switch mounted in the Gen 9 gearbox here, and again, like I said, it's built for it. It's made with that little slot for that reason. And the charging handle, when you draw the charging handle back, it actually rubs along here. I don't think I have one. I don't have one on me, but just take my word for it. It's got a little ramp there which pushes those down and charges your mag. There's two types of these switch though. There's a 6x6x6 and a 6x6x9, and I think this is a 6x6x9. If you look, it's got a really long pushy thing, and the 6x6x6 has a slightly shorter one by about 3mm. So I think the 6x6x6 is actually the correct switch for this, and the 6x6x9 is the one that I've used. So I'll probably just get the Dremel and take a couple of millimeters off the top of this switch. But yeah, it's just because that's what I had. That's what I'm working with. Alright. Alright, did anyone have any other issues I wanted to talk about? Hey John, how are you measuring your amps on the blaster? How does the trigger switch go with a 60 amp swap? Good question. And I don't know, whose blaster is at 60 amps and 20 amp constant? I don't know the details of this particular blaster, so I can't answer the question. Switching blowout, 60 amps was probably a few milliseconds. What kind of switch was it? Was it a Gen 9 switch or a Gen 8 switch? Gen 8 switch is a really low amp. Gen 8 switches are only like about 3 amps or something, and they seem to last even with some pretty hectic motors on them. Do I file the corners of my gearboxes? How do I insulate the Deans? Heat shrink. Just like that. What is my personal favorite blaster? Where's the coffee link? Did I not put? I put the coffee link in. Come on, I did. Really? Did I not? I did. I'm sure I did. I wonder if it just doesn't come up when it's live. You don't have to buy me coffee, Dean. Unless you really want to. Well, hey, well, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, John, understand heavily modded blaster is pulling some mad current, but how did you measure the current? How did you measure the current? That's what I want to know. Because I mean, my ammeters that I have max out at 10 amps as it is. I'm sure I could buy a better one, but like, see above. Oh, using a Titan MOSFET. Yeah, righto. God. Titan MOSFETs. What a wank they are. Sorry for all the people that have them. It's just my personal feelings. Have you guys seen these? Like it's it's pretty funny. These MOSFETs actually have a leaderboard online, which you can like compare your blaster to other people's blasters in some sort of scoreboard that, like, it links your shit with your phone and internet and Bluetooth and maybe not Bluetooth, you got to USB it, but yeah, it links to a scoreboard online so that you compare your, I don't know, RPMs and amps drawn or something to everyone else's and compare dick sizes or something. I don't know. It's like it's interesting, but it's not my thing. Like I'm into necessity driving modification. Like there is absolutely no reason why you need one of these. But it's pretty cool. Let me show you this. It's cool, but like it's not. I don't know. Like not maybe not hundreds of dollars cool. Oh man. Whoa, Inception. Bear with me while I do computer stuff. Alright. We are yeah, okay, so this is pretty cool. Check this out. So when I pull the trigger on this, see that? It actually like senses the how much I've pulled it. For some reason this trigger doesn't go all the way up to 5, I don't know. But then you can change like at what sensitivity it actually fires at. So you could change it so it fires, at the moment it's set to fire at 3. So it'll fire when you've pulled the trigger that much. And then when you set it, if you set it to like a 1, you'd have like hair trigger. And then it does have, this doesn't have any gears in the box at the moment, so it does actually have a sensor which senses the sector gear going around and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, then you can get all your statistics of your trigger response and stuff like that, and then you can upload that to your scoreboard and compare it with your other mates that have got the Titan MOSFET. Yeah, cool. It's pretty cool. It's not my kind of bag though. Like yeah, it's cool, but it's like as you're saying, John, it does cost more than most blasters. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like if you can afford to do it, then do it. But I don't know. It's not necessary. You know what I mean? Like the purpose of a MOSFET is if you've got a blaster that draws so much current that it's burning the switch contacts out, you can get MOSFETs that'll handle a high amp current without burning out your switch contacts. But you can do that for like, I don't know, $10 worth of MOSFETs, not having to spend all that money on MOSFETs. Anyway, man, I am going to call it a night and let you guys, I don't know, do what you do. How to make a blaster shoot fast. Either give it more voltage or give it more gear ratio. Yeah. Braking and precock. Braking and precock is a thing. it's kind of cool. Again, it's kind of cool, but I think it's unnecessary. Again, I mean, braking, it introduces a new load onto the motor. So I mean, it's cool, but like, again, you get like I actually really liked the braking feature, because when you set the blaster to semi, it would stop as soon as it had fired. The motor would just stop dead, and there would be no overrun, and that was cool. But the pre-cocking thing, I think, is a little bit of a wank. The idea of the pre-cocking is that it will wind the plunger back and hold it all the way back right at the last position, so then when you got your hair trigger set, you can just like touch the trigger and it'll fire straight away. So you don't have that little bit of lag when you pull the trigger, and then the motor has to wind the piston back and then it fires. The downside is that if it's pre-cocked, your spring is always compressed, so you're putting a lot of stresses onto all your components and your spring, potentially wearing your spring out quicker. Doing all of that, like it's like, yeah, gel blasters and airsoft, man, they are not the same, and all the things that are good for airsoft aren't necessarily good for gel blasters. EasyFet, the dude who actually makes EasyFet contacted me, John. He said, hey, what's up, love your videos, and do you want to do a video on my EasyFet? I'm like, yep, sure, sweet, send it to me, I'll do it, awesome, sounds good. Yeah, I never heard from him again. Some of these gel blasters are costing more than airsoft, and the accessories are more than airsoft stuff. You might be better off just getting airsoft. They aren't hard to get. I'd probably recommend against that, being that it's illegal enough as it is. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, I mean, if you're in a state where it's already illegal and it's already gonna get you in trouble, then I mean, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the EasyFet's definitely cheap, and it does the job, and that's the thing, it does what a FET is designed to do. It just does it. Like, it doesn't have any other wanky features, it's just does it. Diode is 1 amp, and no, the diode doesn't have to be rated any higher than 1 amp, because it's only priming the mag. It's not firing the blaster. It doesn't take the whole current of the motor, it's just literally spinning the little mag motor, so it doesn't have to be high amperage at all. Yeah, I'm going to drag on forever if I keep going. Scott didn't put his link up that I saw. Maybe he did. Will a FET help keep the motor cooler? No. No, because that's a function of current in the motor, not anything to do with the switch. Switch is just turning it on. Alright, I'm going to call it a night. It's been fun, guys. But, yeah, I got other things to do. Many other things. Alright, peace out, my friends.